Analytics, which was obviously where we kind of said you must measure your analytics and you must actually genuinely look at them, not just go, oh, I've seen the dashboard, I'll have a cup of tea now and tick the box.
That's good.
Well, almost everybody has got Google Analytics installed now, which is great. And lots of people are setting up goals and using it a little bit more. We've got 29 of the businesses who are now on the benchmarking of it, and we've sent out the first reports for the first 3 months on that. And I think it will be very interesting to follow how these get on. And it's actually very beneficial for us to have access to, because we can see a lot about your sites and feedback and spot things and help catch stuff. So well worth doing. Catherine's? We're showing the site. This isn't Catherine's main website, but I think it's quite a good little story and idea behind it. Catherine, you've got a site where you feel you can't necessarily change as much of the content as you wanted.
No, it's a bespoke, and I can change the content of what I write, but I can't change as much as I want to. So this is just a play one. It's a WordPress site, but it's fantastic. I mean, you can change the URLs on every page. You can change everything.
Yeah.
It's just so more flexible than a bespoke. I can't tell you.
So kind of
so much flexible there.
A bespoke one.
Right.
That's right. I mean, you can just do anything if you're an ordinary, everyday, don't know any technology. It is really simple.
So I think it's a good idea. If people have got sites that they just kind of go, I can't work with this, I can't do what I want, it's not a bad idea to have a play on something else which is simple and doesn't come at a great cost, and you can just have a play and try different things out. One of the things we've looked at in your Google Analytics on this is, because you came in, didn't you, and we had a look at it, and you were getting lots of traffic to do with driver ergonomics, is that right? Car risk assessment, something?
I was getting a lot of people on, but I think the keywords weren't quite right, because they were coming on for risk assessment and I needed them on for ergonomic assessment. So I had to play around very tightly with the words and make certain that I emphasised the right things.
But they were bouncing at 100% full on all of them. So we've looked at some of this stuff, and it's a little bit of an experiment at the moment. But one of the things we noticed was that the headers and the pictures weren't links. And from a usability point of view, that makes people feel like they're in a little bit of a dead end and they can't go anywhere. So we've put links into the headers and the pictures. For a little bit of search stuff, you changed these links. Did they say more information or read article or whatever before, to put the full name in? So wait and see what happens with it, but hopefully it will reduce the bounce rate from 100%. Can't get much worse anyway. But you've previously changed some of the bounce rate on other pages on this site.
It goes down to about 20 or 30 from about 60. But by putting into practice the things you said, with just a linear path, by having the thumbnails into a bigger page. And just by...
Because you added similar to these, didn't you, the different boxes with different services. So went from a page with just sort of pretty text-based to some stuff to click on and find out more.
What you did in December, where you showed the travel websites and the others, and I just put those in, and that really did make a difference with the bounce rate.
Did you do this on a template, or was it something you designed yourself?
No, obviously I paid a chap to do the WordPress, and I said to him, could he make me these little boxes?
Right.
And he puts a bit of code in, and you just copy it and put it in the next page, and just change your image and change your heading.
Right.
So he does something that takes him, let's say, a minute, a couple of minutes, and then you just copy it around the place, and every page you can put it on, and add new pages. It's really easy.
Yeah.
I can't do it. I can't make the boxes, but I can copy the code.
Right. And then you just type in what you want to put into those boxes and put the picture in. Right.
WordPress is really good for content-based websites. WordPress is really good for content types. I
feel a WordPress is like
do anything.
We are going to have to do one.
I can't sing its praises high enough.
The thing to keep in mind is WordPress is great and easy, and it's good for smaller-ish service-type websites. If you've got, if you're the beads people and you've got over 400 products, you're not going to do it in WordPress. So you have to kind of judge what your business is and what you're selling and if it's going to work or not. But typically for service-selling companies, it's great. It's fine.
It's got a database behind it.
It's once you have lots of products. I mean, Malcolm, have you got over 15,000 products? It would be a nightmare, wouldn't it? It would never end. So
The only downfall is I don't know. There's lots of plugins for WordPress, and I can't understand when I read it what they're talking about.
Yeah, that happens in Joomla as well.
You know, there are 20 plugins. This is what they all look like. This is what they do.
Yeah.
Because I've read them at least 3 or 4 times, and I've come away not knowing any more.
Yeah.
Not the only one there.
Oh,
Trust me, you're not the only one.
No. And that is the challenge of open source. You have to build it with the little blocks. Yeah.
About 3 times ago.
None of them don't work.
Well, no, and there's that as well. Yeah.
You think you found the plugin you
Yeah.
want, you put it in, it doesn't actually work. And it's not you being stupid, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
You see,
it just doesn't work.
We need to know about plugins.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try and navigate.
We'll do some workshops on this.
They don't do what you want to do when they don't work because the developers have stopped developing them a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is the backside and the catch of the open source stuff. And also you can have a plugin that works today, but then when they upgrade, it might not work with the upgrade and they might not be compatible.
So it might not be a perfect, WordPress might not be perfect for lots of people then.
It depends. If you start using and needing all these other functionalities and you have the need to bolt on a million different plugins, then yeah, you're kind of getting into a little bit more touchy ground. But again, for most people, they will be fine with some of the more standard things. And lots of the plugins are obviously fine. I mean, there's big websites out there running on these things working fine, so it's just something to be aware of. Another Google Analytics example is Harrison, I don't think Anna see it. Again, we looked at her keywords in Google, and another thing that everybody should always look at in their analytics is the keywords of what brings people to your site. And she had keywords in there absolutely spot on for her products, again bouncing at I think 89%. And she goes, well, I don't understand because that's what I sell. And she had the expectation that people searching for that word would land on that page, beautifully presenting those products. But actually, when you put the phrase into Google, they land on a different page and didn't therefore know that the product exists or didn't spot it. So don't work on the assumption that that phrase will land on the page you're expecting it to. Always change it because you might have to tweak your optimization to get it to go to the right places. And it's a really powerful thing because it's one of those places where you can actually bleed all your traffic. If you had a shop and 89% of the people came in and had a look around and left straight away without being able to find anything, you would start to question it. But it's very easy to ignore on a website. And it's also trying to set up some goals, but it's proven not so straightforward because it's an off-the-shelf shopping cart and we can't really guess the right URL to measure the orders off. So another beautiful thing of off-the-shelf challenges. This is a good little story. Has anybody met Graham from Fluxido? Yeah. It's quite a new site, but it's doing really well. He's got less than 2% bounce rate. I mean, who's got a bounce rate that low? I don't even know how he does it. Really? Yeah, true. Yeah, but I think there's something dodgy going on his site. He's increased his traffic loads just 3 months running. It's just gone up, up, up. His company name is no longer even in the kind of top 10 of phrases bringing traffic to a site. He's got all the right phrases just coming through, bringing lots of traffic.
I remember when we were looking at that site when we first had the workshop, and the title tags were set for Tuxedo shirts, which is obviously why he was never going to get the right traffic because nobody was ever going to search for Tuxedo shirts, and that was the issue.
Yeah. Hugely improved. The catch is it's not yet converting, so that's the next thing to look at. You kind of get your traffic up and then you need to make sure that that traffic converts. So he's currently looking at redesigning the homepage and the product pages. His main product pages are currently maybe not as good as they could be, so need a little bit of tidying up on those. He's also working on a blog. I think this is quite a good idea. He wants to do a blog on sort of celebrities wearing tuxedos and James Bond and sort of writing about the history of the tuxedos and sort of bringing a little bit of different stuff into it, which I think is quite a good idea. He's got another blog on there as well where he's starting to showcase a lot of pictures of people wearing his shirts at parties and skiing and, I don't know, out in the mountains doing weird things. But it's just showing people wearing it and it brings people into the picture. So